Good day everyone. Today we'll be continuing our discussion further with basic concepts of chemistry. So we were discussing about methods to express concentration of a solution. We have discussed some methods. Now we will be discussing some more. Today we'll be talking about parts per million, that is ppm, and mole fraction. So let us see what is parts per million. It is abbreviated as or written in short form as ppm. So ppm is not very commonly used method to express concentration of a solution. So where it is used? It is used to express concentration of a solution in which solute is present in very small quantity. Remember, if solute is present in very small quantity in the solution, then only this method, that is concentration, is expressed in ppm. So the mathematical formula for ppm is ppm of solute. ppm of solute is equal to what? Mass of solute divided by mass of solution into 10 to the power 6. So this is the mathematical formula to express concentration of a solution in terms of parts per million or ppm. So it is ppm is equal to what? Mass of solute in numerator, mass of solution in denominator into 10 to the power 6. It is a very easy formula, but keep in mind that by using this formula, you should always keep the mass of solute and mass of solution in same unit. That is, if you are keeping mass of solute in kg, keep mass of solution in kg. If you are keeping mass of solute in gram, keep mass of solution in gram. Never mix the units. In numerator you are keeping kg, denominator you are keeping gram. No, that will give you incorrect result. So please keep in mind while using this formula. So let us see a question, a very easy question, just to familiarize you with the formula. I'll rub this so that I can use the entire phrase for the question. Suppose the question says 1 gram of an unknown solute A is dissolved in 100 kg of water. 100 kg of water to form solution. Now you have to find what? You have to find ppm of solute, that is it. So 1 gram of solute. So as you can see, the amount of solute is very small as compared to amount of solvent. So you can say the amount of solute in the solution will be very small. So let us calculate the ppm of solute A. So first of all, we need to know the mass of solution. So what will be the mass of solution? Mass of solution. So solution contains what? 1 gram of A and 100 kg of water. So mass of solution will be 1 gram plus 100 kg. So you have to convert it into gram to add to 1 gram. So it will be 100 into 1000. That will be 5 zeros after 1. So it will come out to be roughly 100,001 gram. Okay. So this is the mass of solution. Now we know the mass of solute. We have found the mass of solution. Now we can easily find the ppm of solute A. So ppm of solute A will be how much? Mass of solute, that is 1 gram divided by mass of solution. Mass of solution is this much plus 100 kg of water plus 1 gram of A into 10 to the power 6. So if you calculate it, it will be roughly around 10, because You calculate it, it will come around 9.99 something. You can use it approximately as 10. So answer is approximately what? 10 ppm. So this is how you can use this formula, very easy formula. But remember one thing, don't do that silly mistake. Always keep both the units of mass same. Don't keep some unit in numerator and the different unit in denominator. That will give the correct result. So ppm, or you can use the formula for ppm in this manner. So let us go on to next method to express concentration of a solution, and that is mole fraction. Now mole fraction is something very important. You will come across this term regularly while solving questions in physical chemistry. So let us see mole fraction. It is denoted by xi. Chi, xi, or whatever. This is the symbol. Looks somewhat like X. So mole fraction is denoted by this symbol. Now there is a formula for mole fraction, but to understand that formula, let me take an example. Suppose I have prepared one solution in which there are two components A and B. Means I have prepared a solution in which there are how many components? There are two components A and B. Now I have prepared this solution using some amount of A and using some amount of B. So let number of moles of A present in the solution, let it be denoted by Na. Okay, Na represents what? Number of moles of A present in this solution. Now, number of moles of B is represented by Nb. So, the total number of moles of all the components or A and B in the solution is how much? Total number of moles can be found out by adding these two. So Na plus Nb. Now mole fraction, we have to find mole fraction of each of these components separately. That is, we will find the mole fraction of A and then we will find the mole fraction of B. Don't think that mole fraction can be found only in solutions where there are two components. No, there can be n number of components forming the solution. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. How means you can take as much components as you want. Just for example, I have taken only two components. So don't think that mole fraction is used only when two components are involved. No, you can have as many components as you want. So total number of moles we have got. Now how to calculate mole fraction of each component? Mole fraction of each component is given by mole fraction of, suppose mole fraction of A I want to calculate, then how will I calculate? Mole fraction of A will be given by number of moles of A divided by sum of number of moles of all the components forming the solution. So it will be Na by Na plus Nb. That is, number of moles of mole fraction of any component is equal to what? Is equal to number of moles of that component in the numerator divided by what? Divided by sum of number of moles of all the components present in the solution. So mole fraction of A will be given as number of moles of A divided by sum of moles of all the components present in the solution, that is Na and Nb. Similarly, number of moles or mole fraction of B is given by number of moles of B divided by Na plus Nb, that is sum of number of moles of all the components forming the solution. This is how you find out mole fraction of two components. This is a very easy method to express concentration, but you will come across this term regularly in various, I can say, concepts. When you will study about various concepts in physical chemistry, regularly they use in partial pressure. You will see Dalton's law of partial pressure, or in class 12 also you will come across this term many times. So kindly remember. There are some points which you should remember about mole fraction. What are those points? So remember these formulas. So there are some points about mole fraction. The first point is that it has no unit. Mole fraction has no unit. No unit. It is unitless. Why it is unitless? Because in the numerator you have moles or number of moles, in the denominator you have number of moles. So there is no unit for mole fraction. Second important point is that mole fraction of any component can never be greater than 1. Mole fraction of any component can never be greater than 1. Why? Because as you have seen in the formula for mole fraction in the previous case, we have just discussed this, Na divided by Na plus Nb. If we are calculating mole fraction of a component, obviously in every case this denominator will be greater than numerator, because if the solution is having 2 or more components, you have to find the sum of all the components and place it in the denominator, whereas in the numerator you will place only the number of moles of one component. So definitely numerator will be less than the denominator, and in a fraction if numerator is less than denominator, the fraction can never be greater than 1. So mole fraction can never be greater than 1. Remember this thing. For a component, mole fraction can never be greater than 1. One more important point. Suppose in a solution there are 3, 4, 5 components. So if you add the mole fraction of all the components present in the solution, if you add the mole fraction of all the components present in the solution, it will be equal to 1. Suppose in a solution there are 5, 6 or 4 components present, A, B, C and D. 4 components are present, or 4 things are used to form this solution. So definitely they will have some mole fraction. If you add the mole fraction of all the components, mole fraction of A plus mole fraction of B plus mole fraction of C plus mole fraction of D, it will be equal to 1, remember. But you have to add all the components, remember that. You cannot miss out any component. If you miss one of them, then it will not be equal to 1. So remember these things about mole fraction. We'll talk about some more methods in the next class. Today we'll keep it till here on. Thanks so much.